Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so let's talk about HoneyKomb Brazy today, man. Now, HoneyKomb Brazy, he's a newcomer to the rap game, and his name has been bubbling and buzzing out there, man. I guess, and I'm thinking he signed to rap a lot, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But it seems like, man, he's a little perturbed out here with these fake gangsters in the rap game. And he takes shots at certain rappers, or not certain rappers, but rappers who are claiming certain organizations specifically. Now, HoneyKomb Brazy is an interesting character and has an interesting backstory. I did videos on him before, but man, before we get into all the specifics of all this, do me a favor, man. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, for those of you who don't know, HoneyKomb Brazy is a rapper from Mobile, Alabama. And HoneyKomb Brazy has legit been putting it down out here for Mobile. But he's been very, very boisterous on social media. I'm talking about he's been talking about a lot of stuff. He's been covering every topic you can think of and voicing his opinion on that stuff, man. So there was a situation where they asked him about other rappers in Mobile. And he jumped out the window and said, man, I don't mess with a lot of these cats because they messing with a lot of snitches and rats. And he put it out there on Front Street. Well, they asked him specifically about names. And he talked about each one of them one by one. He talked about Rallo Rodriguez. He talked about No Cap. And he didn't pull any punches because HoneyKomb Brazy, for all intents and purposes, is certified in those streets, man, based on what everybody is saying and based on his history. Now, I did a whole video about HoneyKomb Brazy where I talked about how he knew or believes that there's allegedly a bag on his head. And this was after the time that he had a shooting. And a lot of people, man, took to that video and they understand his backstory. If you want to get an understanding of his backstory, man, check that video out and then come back here and this will all make more sense exactly on why HoneyKomb Brazy feels like he has the right to talk about what's real and what's not in the streets. Now today, I'm thinking HoneyKomb Brazy was feeling some sort of way because he took to social media and had to vent his frustrations. He let it be known that he's not going to be tolerating any of these fake gangster rappers out here, man. And he said this verbatim. I'm going to post it right here. He went to social media and said this. Okay, so I might have to chop this up a little bit, man, because I had to get rid of a lot of words. And so this is going to be an improvised version of what he said. So basically he said this. These cats get in the rap game and start banging, then want a set trip like, y'all really banging. Dude, you just got a deal. Now that's it, y'all. Cats be fake Crips, say y'all GD, and ain't nothing about you organized. And y'all cats banging the B, most of y'all cats Lil Wayne bloods. Y'all dudes throwing that sign up cause Young Thug and them, hashtag on grandma. So basically, man, let me summarize this. He's basically saying that the folks that are in these organizations in the rap game, a lot of them are faking and fraudulent, man. A lot of them are not real, certified in the streets like he is. And they just saying it because, you know, they got a record deal and it goes with the persona of being a rapper. Now, what gives HoneyKomb Brazy the right to say this about other rappers in the game? Well, like I said in my other video, I talked about the fact that HoneyKomb Brazy has been in a lot of situations in the street. He was in a shooting where, man, he caught shots to the head, back, all over his body, man. And he did a lot of time in jail. And a lot of people from Mobile, other rappers as well, certify HoneyKomb Brazy as a real street dude. Now, in that caption of that same post, he does show some love. He gives a shout out to none other than Jay Prince Jr., who was recently in a weird situation where he was going back and forth with Joe Budden, but we're going to leave that there. Now, in the caption, he said this. He says this. He said, like, dudes really lost their life behind this stuff. I don't get you cats. If Jay Prince Jr. ain't teach me nothing, he taught me loyalty and respect, man. Now, Jay Prince Jr. and Jay Prince, man, everybody over there at Rap-A-Lot seems to, man, they seem to always talk about loyalty and respect being the key to most relationships and most business moves. And it seems like HoneyKomb Brazy is taken from that same philosophy. Now, in his post, I know he's going to infuriate a lot of people who are in the rap game because a lot of people are going to take issue to the fact that he mentions those gangs specifically and that they might be a part of that organization and they hate to be coupled in with anybody who's a fake gangster. And HoneyKomb Brazy does a real good job of cleaning it up in this second part where he says this specifically. He says, and I'm not dissing nobody. I'm saying cats throwing up sets just because they see their favorite rapper doing it. And he's got a good point there, man, because nobody should be messing around and claiming any type of street organization that they're not a part of just because they see their favorite rapper doing it. Number one, their favorite rapper probably had a tough start, and the reason that if they're real, that they're claiming that is because they had a tough situation and a tough life growing up. And they lived in a neighborhood where they felt like protection through a group was, the only way or means of survival. Now, that's a tough situation to place yourself in. And who in the world would want to place themselves in that situation voluntarily? That's why, a lot of people in the industry speak out about this. They talk about, R&B singers and different rappers who prior to blowing up didn't have any affiliations with any type of gangs. Then all of a sudden they get their record deal, they're in the video, and they're the biggest gangbanger on earth. Now, he did mention a couple of people. He mentioned Lil Wayne and he mentioned Young Thug. Now, when he mentioned Lil Wayne, he said, man, y'all the Lil Wayne types. So I'm assuming that he thinks he's talking about the stories about Lil Wayne actually getting put on by Mac 10 and Birdman after Mac 10 moved to Cash Money. Like, that's a long running story that, they started claiming what they're claiming when Mac 10 moved over to Cash Money, and then Birdman and everybody, converted over to what they claim. Now, that's always been a rumor, but nobody knows if that's fact. But what is fact is when they were first going hard, the Hot Boys or whatnot, you never seen them pretty much running any flag or claiming any type of gang. But later on down the line, you definitely seen a change where they were definitely claiming one side or one gang specifically, allegedly, and then, man, that became a part of their persona and the part of their image. Now, when it comes to Young Thug, he's still kind of a younger cat in the game, and, I'm pretty sure he came in the game that way, so it's a little different. But I think HoneyKomb Brazy is just specifically talking about those people who make that dramatic change in order to try to get a new fan base or to harden themselves up in order for fans to take them more serious, Because trying to change over your image can be complicated, especially when you're married to such an image early on in your career. An example is Soulja Boy. So Soulja Boy came in the game as a child star, right? Most people look at him as a child star, happy singing tunes, ringtone king, that type of stuff. So when it came time for him to be an adult and make music, the changeover was a little bit different, man. But it's a little tougher because people already have this stuck-on image of you being, a child star. And a lot of those cats tend to gravitate towards trying to seem harder or make their image harder, and it doesn't go over well, ever. Now, Lil Wayne is an exception to that, definitely. But Lil Wayne's rapping ability is an exception to all rappers. He's one of the best rappers to do it. But HoneyKomb Brazy really had a good point here, and I don't think there's anything wrong with what he's saying, especially in a climate where you ain't got to claim anything or be part of nothing to make it in hip-hop. There's different types of lanes. There's different subgenres in hip-hop. You can do your thing, you know what I mean? And it just doesn't matter. Now, with that, hold up. What do you guys think? Do you think that HoneyKomb Brazy is just speaking on cats and he really doesn't know the situation? Or is he speaking from a mature place and letting cats know that, hey, man, all that fake claiming it just ain't what it is? Now, with that, this been your boy Big Man. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.